Hello and welcome to Meditate with Nate. I'm excited to see you today and happy to meditate with you. I'm going to share with you a new breathing meditation. It's called the Trapezoid Breath, and I'll explain how we do that in a few minutes. I want to start off with a quote about meditation. I'll share some research about the benefits of slowing down your breath. With the Trapezoid Breath, you're going to slow down your breath to around 3 to 4 breaths per minute. Now, the average person breathes about 15 times, up to 20 times per minute while they're resting. So when you significantly slow down your breath, you can experience a lot of calming in your nervous system and a lot of benefits that I'll get into in a moment. Now, a lot of people know about deep breathing, and in the yoga community, we're moving away from telling people to do deep breathing. You know, like when somebody's upset, you say, go take 3 deep breaths or take a deep breath. One of the problems with that is that because people are so tight and not used to breathing fully, they end up like kind of gasping, and it almost can have a detrimental or kind of an oppositional effect to what you really want with slowing down your breath. So I like to think of it, instead of deep breathing, more like slow breathing. So simply slowing down your breath can have a significant impact on your stress and your nervous system. So there's a book I'm reading. It's called How to Meditate by Pema Chodron. And one of her teachers has a quote in here that I liked that I want to share with you. Meditation is simply training our state of being so that our mind and body can be synchronized. Through the practice of meditation, we can learn to be without deception, to be fully genuine and alive. And that's by Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche. So I really like this quote, especially meditation is training our state of being so that our mind and body can be synchronized. So the breath can be a wonderful agent of synchronicity between the mind and the body. We can't really separate the mind and the body, but we can look at them just like we can look at 2 different fingers, even though they're connected to the hand. The mind and body are obviously connected, but we can also look at them slightly differently, and they can look at each other. And so the synchronicity with the breath can be kind of a glue to hold the mind and body together. So you can think of it like when you breathe consciously, you're able to bring your mind and your body together. The breath can just go automatically without your mind. And so the breath is one of the few things that you can do unconsciously or consciously. So conscious breathing kind of bridges the gap between this conscious and unconscious, this mind and body. And so you can experience this synchronicity that this teacher is talking about. Now I want to share some research as well. And this is from the New York Times, an article last year. And it's about the benefits of controlled breathing. So there's a study. Sorry, let me pull it up here. Controlled breathing may also affect the immune system. Researchers at the Medical University of South Carolina divided a group of 20 healthy adults into 2 groups. One group was instructed to do 2 sets of 10-minute breathing exercises, while the other group was told to read a text of their choice for 20 minutes. The subject's saliva was tested at various intervals during the exercise. The researchers find that the breathing exercise group... Come on, Kindle. The breathing exercise group's saliva had significantly lower levels of 3 cytokines that are associated with inflammation and stress. The findings were published in the journal BMC Complementary and Alternative Medicine in August. And I'll link to the article and the research. So slow breathing and controlled breathing has been shown to have an effect on reducing stress and affecting the chemistry and some of the nervous system, the components of our nervous system, the chemicals and the inputs between the brain and body. So I'll show you a little bit more of the research in the notes. So today's breathing pattern is called the Trapezoid Breath. And simply, you're going to inhale for 6 counts, You're going to hold the breath in for 4 counts. You're going to exhale for 8 counts. And then you're going to hold it out for 2 counts. Now, it's a little bit complicated. It's a lot trickier than the rectangle breath or the square breath. But there's a different purpose here. And sometimes when you're doing the rectangle breath or just counting your breath, your mind and your thoughts can just keep going in the background. So I like the trapezoid breath because it actually does require a bit more focus, because you've got these different numbers that you're breathing with all the time. So basically, a 6 count inhale and a 4 count breath retention is 10 counts, an 8 count exhale and a 2 count breath retention out is also 10. So it's an even inhale and an even exhale, but the time that it takes is different. And so it takes 20 counts to complete one breath. Now, if you count 1 count per second, then it'll be 20 seconds per breath, and that's 3 counts or 3 breaths per minute. So the average breath per minute for adults is about 15, and so this is 5 times slower than what you're probably breathing with in a normal resting state. Now, because you're able to inhale long and exhale long, it's generally pretty comfortable for people. Having a really long exhale retention can be challenging. So that's why you only have 2 seconds. Now, at any time during this meditation, if you feel uncomfortable or if you start to get more stressed, sometimes the counting can feel really long, then you can speed up your count, or you could just stop the technique for a little while and then just breathe normally and then pick it up again later. With practice, it's likely that it will start to feel more comfortable. So I also recommend using a hand position or a mudra as you count. So when you tap your fingers for each count, you're going to give your brain and body one more kind of tactile connection. So the more connections we can create, the stronger and the more powerful the meditation will be. I like to think of it, trying to get our mind and body to synchronize is kind of like sewing 2 pieces of cloth together. So if you just, take a couple of stitches, it's still a very weak connection. Just meditating or counting your breath for a couple times won't do much. A few deep breaths, not too much. But as you count and breathe and count and breathe and count and breathe, you're kind of sewing together the mind and body, and with hundreds and hundreds of stitches, now this connection becomes really significant. So that's an analogy for the power of creating as many connections as you can between your mind and your body, your breath, as well as you meditate. So what I recommend is to put 2 hands open, and you can do this sitting in a chair, any comfortable position, and tap for the inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, and the other hand 5, 6. Then hold the breath in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then retain the breath out, 1, 2. So that's a full cycle. Then you can count again, 6 times, 4 times, 8 times, 2 times. Now, the pattern is uneven. So again, you're probably going to lose count a few times or lose your focus. It's not easy to go 10 minutes without losing concentration. But this will, again, be an opportunity for when your mind and body split to come back and to put another stitch into this connection. So I'll keep track of time for us, and let's do 10 minutes. So when you hear the bell, you can begin. And if you feel uncomfortable at any time, if you need to stretch your legs, then just go ahead and do that. And hopefully keep your count going, even if you have to reposition yourself or deal with a minor distraction. All right, so we'll begin. Go ahead and finish your last round of breath. Let's take just a moment now and release the pattern. Let your breath be natural. Keep observing it, noticing what you feel. Can you recognize those 4 quadrants of the breath? What do you feel? What do you notice about each quadrant? If you feel like continuing, please do. You might pick up the pattern again, or just simply have an open awareness. Please share your experience in the comments whenever you're finished. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.